so I'd like to now introduce Tom Rich.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow members and guests, today's reading is from Friedrich Nietzsche, a 19th century philosopher. Friedrich Nietzsche, it's entitled The Madman, and it was written in 1882 from his book, The Gay Science. Now, back in the 1800s, gay had nothing to do with sexual preferences. It simply meant beautiful. So it's the beautiful science, and this is a book of short poems or short musings on philosophy from Friedrich Nietzsche. Now, Nietzsche was a well-known nihilist who believed that traditional thoughts and values, they have no value, and that life itself is meaningless outside of our current existence. Nietzsche preferred a much more scientific approach to life. He believed that we're driven by our physiological needs, our needs for safety, security, the survival of the species. One of the things I really like about this book and this particular reading is this one of Nietzsche's earlier works, so his more influential ideas have not fully taken form yet. But as you listen to this reading, and particularly this poem, you can hear some of these ideas in the underlying current. For instance, Nietzsche as a nihilist struggled with, if there's no life after death, then what is the meaning of life? So what Nietzsche came up with is that the meaning of life is to evolve for the survival of the species. And Nietzsche believed that we had almost unlimited potential to evolve. He believed that one day we would evolve into what he titled the Ubermensch, or the Overman, the Superman. And in one of his later writings, he wrote that one day man will look back on man as he is today, much as we look at the lowly chimpanzee. So he thought we were going to go a long ways. But to get there, we have to think for ourselves. And so because of that, he has great disdain for anybody who doesn't think for themselves. And he comes to label these people as the herd. I think the only group of people he likes less than the herd are the herdsmen, and those are the people who have the hubris to think that they have the right to tell other people how to think. And at the top of this list is the church and the state. He labels both of these organizations as enablers of mediocrity. And I really enjoy Nietzsche. He's a wonderful read. He's very difficult, though. I've come to label him as engineering for philosophy, so not a real easy read. But the thing I like about him is that he doesn't accept traditional thoughts and values, and he challenges what you think. And he'll just kind of, bam, hit you right in between the eyes with something and make you think about it. And you'll see that in this poem. So without any further ado, The Madman from Friedrich Nietzsche. Have you heard of the madman who on a bright morning lighted a lantern and ran to the marketplace calling out unceasingly, "I seek God! I seek God!" As there were many people standing about who did not believe in God, he caused a great deal of amusement. "Why, is he lost?" said one. "Has he strayed away like a child?" said another. "Or does he keep himself hidden? Is he afraid of us? Has he taken a sea voyage? Has he emigrated?" The people cried out laughingly, all in a hubbub. The insane man jumped into their midst and transfixed them with his glances. "Where has God gone?" he called out. "I mean to tell you, we have killed him. You and I, we are all his murderers. But how have we done this? How were we able to drink up the sea? Who gave us the sponge to wipe away the entire horizon? What did we do when we unchained the earth from its sun? Whither is it moving now? Whither are we moving now? Away from all suns? Are we not perpetually falling backwards, forwards, sideways, in all directions? Is there any up or down left? Are we not straying as through an infinite nothing? Do we not feel the empty space? Has it not become colder? Is it not more and more night coming on all the time? Must not lanterns be lit in the morning? Do we not hear the noise of the grave diggers who are burying God? Do we not smell the divine putrefaction? For even God's putrefied. God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we console ourselves, the most murderous of all murderers? The holiest and mightiest that the world has hitherto possessed has bled to death under our knife. Who will wipe this blood from us? With what water could we cleanse ourselves? What lustrums? What sacred games shall we need to devise? Is not the magnitude of this deed too great for us? Shall we not ourselves have to become gods merely to seem worthy of it? There never was a greater event, and on account of it, all who were born after us belong to a higher history than any history hitherto. madman fell silent and looked again at his listeners. And they too were silent and looked at him in surprise. At last he threw his lantern to the ground so that it broke into pieces and was extinguished. "I come too early," he then said. "I am not yet at the right time. This prodigious event is still on its way, still traveling. It has not yet reached man's ears. Lightning and thunder require time. The light of the stars needs time. Deeds need time, even after they are done, to be seen and heard. This deed is still further from them from the furthest star, and yet they have done it." It has further been stated that the madman made his way into different churches on the same day, and there intoned his requiem Atronam Deo. When let out and called to account, he always gave the reply, "What are these churches now if they are not tombs and monuments of God?" Madman Toastmasters.